Mike, what's going on, baby?
What it do? What's up, man?
It's Friday. We got jobs and we got stuff to do. But on this episode, we gonna kick it off because there's gonna be a battle between the 49ers and the NFC North. You ready, baby?
The North remembers.
Got so amped when you said the North remembers. It just took me straight back to those Sundays.
Yeah, man.
At 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, dog. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mike, what's good?
Yes, sir.
The North remembers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want one of them teams to adopt that so bad, man.
You know who used that hashtag at one point? You remember the Toronto Raptors?
It was Toronto Raptors. Yes.
Yeah.
Was that why? Did they do it because of Game of Thrones?
Well, I mean, probably, but they also are up north. And
they're the furthest north basketball team in the NBA.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. See, there you go. Somebody had to do it, man. I know you said, how was I doing? Yo, so happy birthday to my nephew. My nephew was born today.
Happy birthday.
He is officially the third. Now, here's my beef with him. I'm beefing with this kid already.
Officially a third. I just want to make sure, like, how are we writing it? Like, is it like nephew?
It's Michael, middle name, last name, I. Like, he's third.
Okay, I just wanted to know because we had a conversation. It's funny how you bring this up. We had this conversation about a week and a half ago. But my apologies. Keep going.
This is kind of why I'm beefing, because everything always seems to come full circle. Now, I don't have my biological father's side. I'm kind of like, new to the family. Like, they know me, but we only hung out a couple times, And so when I was going there, because my dad's name is Michael, my brother's name is Michael, and my name is Michael, a couple of people called me Trey because I was the third. I'm the youngest one. I was the youngest one.
Okay, that's kind of, okay, that's dope. I could dig it.
So my brother has the baby, and in the family group chat, types his name out, Michael, blah, 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 the third, a.k.a. Trey. Can I beef with this kid even though he don't know that? Like, am I out of line for this?
You out of line for beefing with the kid, but you could actually go to your brother's house and kind of like, whip his for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's who the beef should be with, because it sounds like he didn't remember.
That's crazy, right? But it's, I mean, like I said, I'm not around a lot, so I kind of let it go. But
nah. You shouldn't let that go, man, because I feel like that's gonna. Every time you see your nephew, it's gonna be some type of resentment, and it's not gonna be, but towards him. It's really towards your brother. So you might want to, when you have that, it's a boy cigar. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. When you smoke the it's a boy cigar, you might want to be like, you effed up, right? And then explain to him. Like, see, people think as you get grown and older that our feelings change. No, we still got feelings, man. Like
right.
Yeah, like
now, and see, I never really got a nickname from the family. Like, my mom's whole side of the family just called me Mike or Michael. Like, that's it. I don't have a nickname. Everybody else in the family got a nickname. Everybody. My uncles, most people go by middle names. So I felt like, oh snap, I got something. Like, I got one over here. You know what I mean? I felt like I was in there.
Yeah.
But now, and I also understand why Trey, because he's got the 3 eyes at the end of the name, like the Roman numerals.
Well, I thought you were the third Mike.
No, I'm not a junior. I got a different middle name, different last name, but I am the third Michael.
So, you might have to. Okay, so
he's legally the Trey.
He's legally the Trey. Yeah, you got to let this one go, dog.
That's what I said.
You can't even beef with the bro. Like, you know what I mean? Because you were borrowing the Trey.
Yeah.
Until the real Trey came along.
Yeah,
we're not talking about Trey Lance. For everybody that's watching the show, he is a Dallas Cowboy. I just wanted to put that out there. Shout out to the faithful, man. They out here in this chat on Memorial Day weekend. Did we say happy Memorial Day weekend? Because I know it's a somber weekend for some. But we do want to send our regards and pay our respects to those that fought and served and died for our country. So
Absolutely.
happy Memorial Day. But is that like something we shouldn't say anymore? Because I feel like, is it offensive to say that?
Nah, because if you say it with good intentions, it's cool. That's the way I feel about it. If you
Right,
say it with the
but-
right intentions, you're not trying to be offensive, then it should be cool.
Okay, because people get offended. How is it happy if people are dying? Like,
Well, I had somebody ask me who thought it was a good idea to celebrate Veterans Day and Memorial Day with fireworks.
can you imagine
so-
all the trauma?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's always a reason to be offended by something. So you gotta.
to be honest, like, what did you just say to me? The intentions, right? You got to go back to 4th of July, and it was a celebration, and that's where those
Right.
fireworks.
Well, that was an Independence Day. That wasn't necessarily about the veterans. Like
No, I-
Memorial Day and
I
Veterans
understand,
Day.
but I mean, they're
Yeah.
all kind of somewhat sort of connected. Because without Independence Day, we don't like build the Army, Navy, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we had to get our independence from England first. Look at us talking about U.S. history.
It's all lies. But all right, let's go. 'Cause I
My
don't
favorite
wanna-
subject, bro. Favorite subject, man. U.S. history was so dope. I took it in college and I was rocking it. And then I wanted to get into European history because it's just fascinating that, like, how stuff is formed.
I've always wanted to learn the histories that intersected with U.S. and hear it from the other perspective. I've always wanted to do that, but I've never took the time to, because then it just ends up sounding like conspiracy theories, and I'm like, well, but I believe them though.
Yeah, but just because they're conspiracy theories don't mean they're not real.
Right, exactly. So that's why I liked it though. That's why I always wanted to like delve into it. But you try to stay cool, try to stay calm.
Today, I want to focus on. We talked about last week. Earlier this week, excuse me. We talked about the Niners and the NFC West. Did we say it was cake work, like a cakewalk, light work, NFC West? I can't remember. I had us going
probably.
What did I have us going? 5-1, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't think we called it light work. We should have.
And I know because today we're gonna do that. Like,
We definitely should have. Like, we're gonna put some respect on the Niners name. Like, we already got the respect. They might not want to give it to us, but that's our division right now.
hold on to that. That's important that you said that because I feel like the NFC North is our division too, and I'll explain why. But
They hate us.
Just hold on to it. Just hold on to that. Last year, we played the NFC. We played one team in the NFC North. We played the Minnesota Vikings.
In the regular season.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's regular, playoffs, whatever.
We played two teams in the postseason. That's what I'm saying.
No,
in the regular
I know. I know. I'm just saying we played the Minnesota Vikings, and we went there, and that's who we're going to start off with today. We're going to start off with who we play first this year, and we're going to look at the newest additions, and I think that's kind of like where our show was going. We were looking at some of the newest additions that they added in the draft, maybe free agency. They did get Jonathan Greenard. Was he a Texan or was he a Jet? He was a Texan or Jet. I can't remember where he came from.
I don't remember.
But that was one of the free agents. I was like, I'm hoping the Niners would get the edge. We ended up getting Leonard Floyd, though. But I thought that was one of those guys we were going to be looking into. High sack volume last year.
So let's talk Houston, right?
I felt like it was the
Like
Texans.
it was Houston.
I thought it was the Texans. They didn't resign. They didn't bring him back as a free agent. They drafted
Jets?
players. I really felt like
That's
the Jets was a different
crazy.
player. I think.
I got it. But go ahead. So let's keep it moving. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
no
got it
problem.
here, though.
All right,
it was
so
definitely it was definitely the Texans.
It was the Texans. That's what I thought. All right. So listen, man, we're gonna be playing the Minnesota Vikings week 2 of the NFL. We already know who they got. They did add was Nikhil or N'Keal Harry. Was he there last year?
Kill Harry, the receiver.
Yeah. He on their depth chart.
I don't know if he was there. I thought he came from Chicago. I think he came from Chicago. Wasn't
Okay, so he was a free agent that they signed. Okay, yeah, you might be right. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Jordan Addison was their rookie last year, right?
Yes.
Please circle his name
Okay.
because he had a career game against the 49ers. And then when you look to see who they added this year, They added another receiver in Ty James. They added two more receivers in Jashawn Jones and Devron Harper. They added a tackle, Walter Rouse from Oklahoma, and Doug Nestor. They added a center, Michael Juergens and Matthew Cindric. They added a guard, Jeremy Flax. They added a right tackle in Spencer Rowland. And then they added a tight end out of South Carolina, Trey Knox. When I look at their tight end department, I'm like, okay. And remember, they just signed Robert Tonyan he was a free agent, undrafted free agent from the Bears, so they got him as well.
Trey Knox.
I knew that was your guy, and that's why I brought that up. And then Mike, they went and drafted a quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. I just want to remind everybody, Nick Mullins is there. So they have two former 49er quarterbacks, Sam Darnold and Nick Mullins. Just wanted to put that out there. I think their biggest free agent that they added this year was Aaron Jones, running back from Green Bay. What's so funny?
No, I'm gonna let you finish. I think this is incredible. I think this is absolutely incredible.
I think the biggest free agents they added was Jonathan Grenard and Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they got a bunch of rookies on. Don't
sleep on Harrison Phillips either, though. The nose tackle they picked up from Buffalo.
Oh, I didn't even get to the defense yet. Like I was.
I'm sorry. You're right.
The first person I named was Jonathan Grenard. All right, so defensively, nose tackle, they got like you said, they got the free agent from Buffalo, but they also drafted two guys. They drafted Levi Drake Rodriguez and Taki Taimani. All right, defensive tackle, they drafted Tyler Manoa. Then they got some guys that I kind of like that I was looking at, like Gabriel Murphy from UCLA. They got him. They got Owen Porter. And the biggest name on defense, the two biggest names on defense that they added from the draft, in my opinion, is going to be Dallas Turner and Kyrie Jackson, the corner from Oregon.
4th round corner.
Yeah, I had him as a 2nd or 3rd round, like no less than 3rd. But this is one of those 6'3", long, 84.5-inch wingspan type of cornerbacks. They kind of like that. Now they do have some players like from last year. They got that safety. Is it Sene Lewis? Remember him from? He played in Penn State. I remember he's a Penn State guy. So they got him. I think he was a Penn State guy.
You said a safety?
Yeah. When did Sene Lewis go? I might have the wrong school, but I remember doing work on him.
I know who you're talking about. I always said sign every time I saw his name.
Could be sign.
I kept saying sign. No, you're probably right. I doubt it's sign. They also got Mekhi Blackman over there.
It's Lewis sign too. My fault. Where did he go to school? Oh, he went to Georgia. Okay, I got it mixed up. So listen, man, they got some dogs.
And that's secondary.
And they're young. And they're young. And, when you look at the 49ers and you add in our young weapons, this is something that can shape up into being something good. I think the Niners may have the ability to take advantage of the young secondary early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how you feeling about the Vikings, man? To me, it starts with the rookie quarterback. But how you feeling about them?
Yeah. The rookie quarterback is an interesting thing, and I think that the Vikings have kind of taken a page out of the 49ers book.
Every team has. Come on, man.
They have incorporated a lot of free agents in this, but they have like a really good roster for all the supporting roles for that rookie quarterback. You got TJ Hawkinson. He's a top 5 tight end in the NFL when healthy, when he's out there. Robert Tonyan was no slouch when he was healthy. You know what I'm saying? You got Josh Oliver from Baltimore, and then you also drafted Trey Knox. That's just the tight ends, right? And we don't even need to start talking about the wide receivers they got over there, right?
Yeah, they stacked.
This is crazy. They have Trent Sherfield over there. Like, he was a 49ers wide receiver 3 at one point. And he was a nobody lucky to make this roster.
He became a 49er too, by the way.
I won't call him.
He was insignificant until he became a
Okay.
Niner, and then
Okay.
that means nobody. Same thing. Insignificant, nobody. Same difference.
Happy Memorial Day.
There it is.
And so,
but I'm saying
But
he came here, kind of made a name for himself, became a free agent, got picked up by Miami, and then he went to Buffalo.
Yep. And now yeah. But it's like they have great wide receivers over there. They got tall wide receivers in case this guy likes to overthrow people. They got shifty and fast wide receivers in case he overthrows people. You know what I'm saying? Like they went out and they built this surrounding and supporting cast around this kid. And then they say, you know what if we just can't run the ball? What if we struggle to run the ball?
That's their only
Let's
issue.
go out and get some running backs. Yeah. But let's go get some running backs. Right? Like, I think that's absolutely incredible. They went out there and really did their thing. Their offensive line, people were going crazy about Christian Darrisaw when he was coming out in the draft. You know what I mean? Ed Ingram, no slouch either. Like, they have a nice young offensive line that they're going to continue to build around. They trust this line so much. They say, hey, we're going to let Nick Mullins go, even though he was always getting hit and hurt. We're going to let him go, and we're going to draft a rookie. That's saying something to me.
Did they let Nick Mullins go? Because I see him still on the depth chart.
I mean, I didn't mean Nick Mullins. I said Nick Mullins, and I saw
Kirk
his
Cousins.
name. I meant to say Kirk Cousins, yeah. We're going to let him go, and we're going to draft a rookie. Now, I don't know if this is the right rookie, but that remains to be seen.
But the stuff that you said helps him be the right rookie, right? Like all the things that he already had, the pieces that they added, looked like they really wanted to make sure they shored up the offensive line for the future. Right, so they kind of drafted for the future for the offensive line to kind of grow with the young quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's the pieces that they added with him as far as they gave him even more weapons, all right. And then on top of that, I think the biggest asset offensively for a rookie or a young quarterback, even Sam Darnold, like if he plays week 2, I think the biggest asset is adding a running back like Aaron Jones. Now, if Aaron Jones is healthy, he's a dangerous running back. You know what I'm saying? He's shifty. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He has great speed, and he runs hard, right? And we know this for a fact because if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have even been in that game. It was really Aaron Jones. Now, we missed tackles. I thought we missed several, and he had some big runs. But the Niners were doing their due diligence on him until those big runs happened. So the Vikings, I think, are going to be cakewalk or no cakewalk for the Vikings? Cakewalk or no cakewalk? Like, what do you think? I know what it should be, but what do you think it's going to be?
We'll get the dub, but it won't be a cakewalk. How does that sound? Is that?
That's perfect. I just want it to be a cakewalk.
Is that Maki Dada?
Yeah, but no, because it should be a cakewalk. But you're right. I'm sorry. There's no way in hell Sam Darnold should be able to beat the 49ers. There's no way in hell J.J. McCarthy should be able to come in week 2, still brand new to this system, and the NFL should come in and be able to take on a complex defense. Now, if the Niners defense plays mad vanilla and mad loose, he's going to tear us apart. Literally underneath throws, all the throws he made at Michigan that people were complaining about, all that stuff is going to happen against this 49ers defense. We got a lot of young pieces on the defense as well as the studs, but the newest additions are those young pieces. And even with Hufanga coming back, he's still a young guy. It could pose a problem because remember, they got to cover, right? They got to cover Addison. They got to cover what's the tight end you just named? They got to cover him. They got to cover Hawkinson. Yeah, like these are
Jefferson.
And we're young, like in that secondary, literally young. Jair Brown second year, Ronaldo Green's first year. Like we don't know who's going to be out there, so it could pose a problem. I think we get the dub. I have us winning this game. But you're right. It's probably not going to be close. I mean, it's probably going to be close.
How much of a letdown?
It would be a huge letdown, Mike. I swear to God, I will call.
No, not that. I'm sorry. Alexander Madison. How much? Not Jordan Addison. Alexander Madison.
He's no longer there.
The running back. I know, but how much of a letdown was he that like this was his moment? Everybody was like, "Oh, he could do it," because every time he came in to spell,
he was a
Cooks,
spell.
he was good.
He was a spell back. He was a spell back.
Some people he couldn't spell RB last year. Like he was bad
because he was the starter back, and so
yeah,
that was the issue. They moved him to starter. He shouldn't be a starter. You know what I mean? A lot of people have this game against the Green Bay Packers one of the tougher games, and I like Mike's take on this because I just don't think Jordan Love is that dude.
Yeah.
And I think Jordan will struggle this year because he lost his key to victory. Like he lost.
So we going okay.
Well, I'm just saying he lost Aaron Jones. Now, they did replace him with Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Josh Jacobs had that one career year where he was a top 2-3 running back in the league. But ever since then, he's been going downhill. Now there's new scenery. We'll see what happens. But the Green Bay Packers, we play on the road. Notice how both NFC North games are on the road first before we take on the NFC North at home. You ever peeped that?
Yeah.
You peeped that?
Okay. Yeah, always. Can I ask you one quick question back to the Vikings, real quick? Who won the battle of the swap backup quarterbacks? Us or them? Sam Darnold for Josh Dobbs. Who won?
I like Josh. I think Josh Dobbs is overall the smarter guy, the more athletic guy. And I understand that he didn't get drafted high, but you don't have to get drafted high to be a great quarterback. Ask Brock Purdy.
Okay. Packers. I like that. I ain't going to touch that. That's beautiful.
So we got the Packers. I like how you set me up for the alley-oop dunk. I'm trying to slam dunk it when you, man, I ain't laying it up, dog. I don't do layups. You could break your fingers at the finger roll. I want to dunk that joint. Packers added some pieces, man. Christian Watson is a guy we want to circle. We want to see how he, does he transition into that really number one wide receiver in the NFL? Mike, you know who's dope? Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed. They got some young receivers, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, Christian Watson was one of my favorite receivers coming out in that draft. Just the size, the speed, but I don't know if it's going to translate to this level of competition, man. They still have him penciled in as wide receiver one.
They have him penciled in as wide receiver one. He's been dealing with injuries, though, so I'm curious to know if the injuries, if his body is finally football ready. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm just curious to see if his body's football ready. They also have one of your favorite players' brothers playing as a wide receiver. Bo Melton, the brother of Max Melton, is on this team. So they picked him up from Seattle. They added another center. They added another tackle. They added another guard.
They had like 10 draft picks, man. They went crazy in the draft. They had a lot of draft picks.
So they did pick up a running back. And I want to talk a little bit about Marshawn Lloyd. He's the newest addition.
Yes, third-round pick this year.
He's out of USC, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on him.
He will be the starter by week 7.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yep.
Literally.
Josh Jacobs, listen, man, I understand what it looked like, but
put him to the back burner, though, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, let him be your third down back. Because if you end up switching the roles between him and Marshawn Lloyd, this will actually help, in my opinion, Jordan Love.
I think this guy's a little bit more physical of a runner. He's only 5'9", 220, but he moves well and he runs with purpose. That's what I like seeing in guys built like that. You know what I mean? So, I think he's taller than him. I'm pretty sure he's taller than him. But Maurice Jones-Drew, how tall was he?
I want to say he was 5'9".
Was MJD 5'9" also?
I feel like he was
5'7". 5'7".
He was short and stout. Remember him and what was the running back from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Doug Martin.
Doug Martin was one of them. Yeah.
I feel like they all resemble like that same. Blake Corum this year, we play him this year too, will be one of those type of shorter but stout bully ball type running backs, right? Shorter to the ground, shorter, lower gravity, hard to tackle. You know what I'm saying? And run hard, right? Like, yeah. So, back to the running backs though. I like what they did there. And then another team in this division that really, in my opinion, values the tight end position. They want Luke Musgrave to be like a superstar. And they got Tucker Kraft too.
And they got back-to-back in the rounds.
Same rounds. Second round, third round.
Second round, yes. Back-to-back picks in the round. They go tight end. They want these tight ends to be superstars. Again, like this is how you do it, man. You go out there and you get some of these guys that could be physical, fast, big, hard to hit, hard to tackle. you could do some things. You can make some things easier for your quarterbacks. You can make some things easier for your running backs and your wide receivers if you're tight ends of those guys. And they're going to invest in it. I really like what they're doing there.
Defensively, Mike, I think they added the best middle linebacker in the draft. I was very high on Edgerrin Cooper. He was like my number one linebacker in the draft, and that's going to be a problem. Like they got somebody really good there, and I thought they also added 2 good safeties. One, Javon Bullard from Georgia. I think he can play nickelback if they needed him to go to the nickel, but they got Keyshawn Nixon. Speaking of Keyshawn Nixon, Diamador Lenore and Keyshawn Nixon have been going at it. What do you know, Keyshawn pretty much saying we gave you the game, blah, 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 blah. I don't have the stuff right in front of me. I wasn't prepared, but I just saw his name and I was just like, oh, snap. So how you feel about that? Like
you know, it's kind of a catch-22. If a Niners player said that, hey, we lost that game, that's on us, I like that. I would like them taking onus. Like, but there's also a point in time where you got to say, hey, we weren't the better team out there. Now, there are clips where there's dropped interceptions, and Keyshawn was one of them. You know what I'm saying? So when they say, like, we let the game slip through our hands, I kind of get what he's saying. I understand what he's saying. Don't mean that they were going to score. Doesn't mean that the outcome of the game would have been different, but we had an opportunity to give our offense other opportunities, and we as a defense let it slip through our hands. We won't make that same mistake again. And this is all because of they have nearly perfect attendance during OTAs, where the Niners, a lot of their superstars ain't showing up. And so that's kind of what the friction, that's where it came from.
Did he say or I? Big difference.
For let the game slip?
Yeah.
He said we. He's saying the Packers didn't like get beat. We lost that game.
No, but he lost that game. Like
we.
But it shouldn't be we if he dropped the interception, right?
He wasn't the only one that dropped one though.
But he did drop an interception, right? Yeah. So like for me, he should have took the accountability, and that would have been kind of dope on his behalf if he said I. Because now you're putting it on you opposed to putting it on your teammates. Even though you did lose as a team, but we talk about accountability, and that is huge. And when you make a mistake and you felt like you could, even Debo takes accountability now. Like we're seeing a big shift in things like that, right? Okay. Whatever. So
I ain't say nothing. I was trying to think about it. That's what I was just thinking.
So my point is, it would have served him a better purpose if he would have said, I let the game slip through my hands. That would have been dope. Like that would have been dope. So the way, hear me out though, because like the way I think Diamador Lenore took it was a shot when he said we. Now, so and I know you think different. Everybody thinks differently, but I think the way Diamador or Demo, I think the way he interpreted it was like, y'all ain't let that game slip out of y'all hands. We beat y'all. Like the better team won.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how he's supposed to feel.
Right. So,
but if I'm a fan of the team, I want my team to say, we let that one get through. Like the Niners let that Super Bowl get away from them. They had the lead. They had opportunities.
We know
let that Super Bowl get away from them.
We know what the team did, but there were specific players that messed up.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
yes,
just come out, be accountable for it, call it a day, own it, own your makeup, own your mess ups. That's all I'm saying. That's got to be the wave to the future. How is this going to be? I got this as a dub. What do you have this as?
I think we beat the brakes off the Packers.
Okay, so this is not close, right? Away too. I like it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
And this starts our back-to-back. So that's why I think we're gonna lose to Buffalo. This is before Buffalo.
Yes.
It's them and then Buffalo.
Correct.
So we got to get one of them too. We got to get one of them too. And I want this one. One, because of standings. Two, because just so y'all know that wasn't a fluke and we were off our Dean in the postseason. That's the only reason that game was that close. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the wait. Before we move on to Chicago. We lost in Chicago the last time we played there too, by the way. But different team. I think Nigel put the quote out of what he said. Cause I didn't.
He said, "I feel we let one." Where'd it go? Yeah.
He says, "I feel we let the team off the hook last year in the playoffs. We know that." Mm-hmm. But see, I get that, But then I think him saying what I'm trying to say is him addressing it in this way caused the response and the reaction from Diamador Lenore. That's all I'm saying. Whereas opposed to he would have said, if he dropped an interception, which he did, if he would have said, you know, we as a team let the team off the hook, and I let the play slip through my hand. Let you know what I'm saying? Like, take accountability for one of the things. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's cool that he brought up the team, but take accountability that you could have signed. So, like, like Fred Warner the other day, right? Fred Warner the other day, he talked about what he could do or what he could have done to be better. And he says, yo, I could have been more attacking the ball more, punching the ball out. Like, that was a trait that D'Amico literally taught him how to do. And I think they got away from that last year. But he reassessed himself and said, that was something that I needed to do. If I had done that, perhaps we could have gotten another opportunity. See how he said I and then we? Like, you could do both. You got to do both. You can do the overall assessment of the we, but what could you have did better? What extra could you have did?
I mean,
if you had the opportunity, like, you know what I mean?
It's also partly because of how the question was asked to him.
I'll say
they were like, what do you attribute your team's high? I'm paraphrasing.
No,
but
I
why
got
do you
you
think there's
saying.
so many of y'all here for this
you.
voluntary OTA session?
I got
and
you.
it was because we know that we let one slip, so we got to be better. Like, we all here, we know we got to get better.
Okay, that's
yeah.
So what do you think? Never mind. Oh, that's a whole nother show. Chicago Bears. All right, we got to get through these two teams. Chicago
they had
Bears.
only 6 picks in the draft.
Only
after
6.
some moving around.
Only 6.
2 first-round picks, both of them on the offensive side of the ball. And I mean, you got to start there, right? Caleb Williams, quarterback,
and then Roman Dunze, right? Like, they got some. They got 2 supposed to be dogs in the NFL. The question is, how quick will these guys click and gel? But he still has a great wide receiving core led by Dante Pettis.
If you're, I see, you almost got me there. Bro, DJ Moore, Romo Dunze, Keenan Allen, Dante Pettis, put some respect on his name. Nah, for real. Simba Webster, the speedster, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We remember him. We were hoping for some things over there from him. Then you got Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett.
They got Gerald Everett in free agency,
bro.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking, like,
you got DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert. And they got Rojo over there. Sorry. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
No, I mean, look, adding Swift is huge. You get a good change of pace back. Khalil Herbert can't really ever stay healthy. Rashawn Johnson can't stay healthy. They did pick up Travis Homer from Seattle, but guess what? He can't stay healthy. DeAndre Swift is probably their healthiest running back who gets dinged up. I felt like Swift hasn't been the same ever since Demo. You can go back and check that if you want. But they did add some new additions to that defense too. They got Montez Sweat. And then
Andrew Billings.
Yeah, man. They got some new key free agents, and then they drafted a couple of players that, you know, are going to be lower on the depth chart.
I think they spent a lot in free agency because they knew that the draft, they were only going to try to get their guys and get out.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So if you look at their left defensive end, Montez Sweat, that was a free agency pickup. Andrew Billings, that was a free agency pickup. DeMarcus Walker, a free agency pickup. TJ Edwards, a free agency pickup. Tremaine Edmonds, free agency.
But you could
those
do
guys
that,
are likely to be starters. Kevin Bayard,
Bayard. Yep.
Yeah. So they went out there and said, hey, if we only going to do this in the draft, we got to do this in free agency, and they went crazy.
They had the bread. They had the bread. Like, you know what I mean? When you got the bread, when you got the dough, you know, you could kind of live in the fast lane. Remember the Niners, man. Remember their first year? Yeah. They spent on some free agents. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't names like this, though. It wasn't names like this.
Football was a little different, though, but they did get some names. It's not like, you know what I mean? It was just a little bit different.
So they added Keenan Allen and drafted a first round wide receiver. We brought in Pierre Garçon and drafted
But Pierre Garçon was still
Solomon Thomas,
Pierre. Like I said, at
Dante Pettis.
different times. Like we were going for the trenches. They addressed the trenches in free agency, and they went for the star-studded players, the skill players. Like right.
Yeah.
So it's just a different philosophy on how you get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. That's my thought. How you feeling
How
about
tough you
these
think they're
Bears?
gonna be? Oh, okay. All right, cool. We asking the same thing.
Yeah,
to each other.
like I don't think they tough, man. I think they tough on paper.
Yeah.
But it all starts with the mentality of that quarterback. And honestly, if you keep him in the pocket, he's not good. If you get him out of the pocket, that's where he kind of is a little bit more electrifying. So I'm curious to see later on in the season if he had progressed or not. Because this is later on. It's week 14, right?
Yeah, it's later. I think it's less about the attitude of the quarterback and more about the A+ personalities in this room. I sat there and named all those free agents that came in. Montez Sweat, right? He's not going to be somebody that you could just be like, hey, you need to get better. He'd be like, yo, I know what I'm doing, right? Keenan Allen's not going to be somebody to be like, yo, you ran that route wrong. He's like, do you know who I am? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a little bit of personalities in here that I think might maybe start to make this locker room fall apart towards this portion of the season, especially if they're in the running for something. Now it's going to be a lot of finger pointing and name blaming on the sidelines when you're going up against a team that's stout like the 49ers. So I think that's how it could end up being. I think it could be a downhill onslaught for these boys.
I got this as a dub, so I mean, we not losing to any rookie quarterbacks.
Is this my trap game? Hold on, wait.
Yes,
I gotta look at the schedule. I think this was my trap game.
This is your trap game. But you know what? It's cool to change stuff up, like as you start to go through it, because now you're starting to break down who they got. Like you know,
but I just got the bubble guts thinking about this.
This is a dub. They get back home. They get the dub. That's how I'm looking at it. But it could be a trap game. It could be.
I think this was my trap game, and I had a really good reason for making it that too.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
It's that you're in that last tier, lap around the track, right? Mm-hmm. You're trying to finish off strong with like four wins, and this is one of those games coming off the road. I think they play them after Buffalo, right? This is after the Buffalo road game.
I hope not. Is it that one?
I could be wrong. So, I don't have the schedule in front of me.
Wait. I got it. 49ers, Bears. Boom. Here it is. December 8th. Oh, man.
After Buffalo, Mike. I'm good. Give me my goddamn credit. I'm good.
You got that, bro.
But you know what? If they lose to Buffalo, there's no way they're losing to the Bears. I can tell you that right now. They're coming off of that road game, that road loss. They get back home. I think they got 2 at home, right? Isn't it the Bears and the Rams? I have us losing to the Rams on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. We got to talk about these Lions, though, man. I mean, listen.
We got to get to the Lions. Quick super chat contribution from Jack's 49ers girl, Knox. Hey, Wayne and Mike. See, I understood
she changed up the name.
Yeah, Jack's 49er girl, Knox. Yep.
Let's
have
go.
A faithful and great holiday. We appreciate that.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a happy holiday. Happy holiday.
Thank you, Jack. 49er girl Knox. It's a long ass name, yo. Let's get to these Lions, bro. Cause I have us losing this game. I'm just gonna tell you I have us losing this game.
It's the one I want.
You have us winning this game. You have us winning this game. I remember you have us winning this game. I remember why you said you have us winning this game.
Yeah.
But I have us losing this game.
Now, if any of these players said we let one get away from us, I'm like, y'all did.
This is the one they let. Right. This is
right.
I fall back, digress, regress, gress.
Yeah. From the players performances to the coaches' decisions.
Yep.
Like y'all let one get away from y'all. Y'all were supposed to be going to your first Super Bowl. Like this was a crime.
You can't have a 70-point lead and lose. That's some. I thought basketball was a game of runs, not football. Like,
Bro,
you know what I mean?
It looked like they had the runs. Like it was bad. It got bad in that second half for them. Like bad. And like I understand Dan Campbell. Like we got here by doing this, but fam, you ain't got to go for it on fourth down 2 or 3 times in the same game. Like you got to stop, bro. Like you got to stop, protect the lead at some point. Kick a field goal. It's more points the Niners got to score to catch you. Kick a field goal. Show some faith in your young defense.
That's coaching, bro. That's
man.
I don't want Dan Campbell to ever change because he'll lose a lot of games like that. Just think about it. Remember, this is not their first rodeo. Okay, remember they lost on Monday Night Football or whatever football it was, Sunday night. I don't know, and because
I know exactly what you're talking
the player didn't. The player went to the official, said I'm eligible. Another player went over at the same exact time. No, because 2 players walked over there. It must have.
It was 3 players that walked over, but only like one of them said it when 2 of them needed to say it. He threw the touchdown to the guy, and it was like no. Yeah,
the ref was like, nah, none of it's legit.
And that was a big. That was a big. That was
game.
week 1.
No, that was toward the end of the season.
It was the Chiefs
because they needed to have win.
It was a huge game.
Because they were still in contention to finishing in, like, getting the 2nd seed or the 3rd seed.
I got to see who that was against.
It was against Dallas on Sunday Night Football. It was Dallas on Sunday Night Football.
I hate the Cowboys. I wanted
to know. We all hate the Cowboys. This is why we were pissed. You got to make, I'm just saying, like, they ugly. No, Mike, to be fair, you are correct. It was an earlier game where the coach did some dumb stuff too. Like it was an earlier game this season, but it kind of makes sense why they blew it in the NFC Championship game.
But that's how Dan Campbell is wired. You know what I'm saying? And there's a part of me that loves that Neanderthal. I'm gonna tell you like it is. We're gonna fight hard and just go. Right? I think that if I were a Lions fan, I would have a lot of confidence in a guy like Dan Campbell. But they're going to be in a place, if they're not already, where we kind of feel like the 49er fans. The same things that make us love this guy is the same reason there needs to be a checks and balance.
Yeah, I like that, Mike. They are us. Well, yes. You know what's funny? Because Kyle Shanahan's not the Neanderthal, but he's the overconfident.
Didn't mean to say it like that.
No, but I get what you're saying. But Kyle Shanahan's okay. I feel like Dan Campbell is hella aggressive, hella vocal, hella buck wild, but the players love it. I feel like Kyle Shanahan is the same things, but just minus the aggressiveness.
The energy.
It's more mind control. It's more like, do that.
It's like matter of fact. Right. Yeah, I dare you.
I dare you.
He's the laid back dude. He's the quiet dude in the corner that you got to watch all night when you go out.
Bingo. Or if you at home, make sure he go to sleep before you go to sleep. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. So, all right. Did we go over any of their draft picks at all?
I think we
both respect this team.
I think this is the full respect game right here. Like, I have us going 3-1 in this division, and this is now. I could be wrong. The Niners may lose to Minnesota. They may lose to Green Bay. I don't know. But my point is they shouldn't. And I can understand, though, if the Niners lose to Detroit. If there's any team in this division that they may lose to, is this team. Because now, what the crazy part is we just don't know who's going to be available, who's healthy. Is this Dre Greenlaw's first game back? Like, there's a lot to think about in this particular game that we don't know. A lot of unknowns. But what I do know is the Lions going to give 110%. You know why? Because this game's going to come down to first place in the NFC.
Yeah. Not you. Yep. In the NFC overall. I do want to ask you about one player real quick before we get out of here on the Lions. They traded Tampa Bay for Carlton Davis.
Okay.
Now, he's penciled in ahead of Emmanuel Mosley. We know about the injury and all that stuff, but
he should be. They loaded up on DBs, bro. They got mad free agent DBs, and then they drafted DBs and brought back guys that they felt like were gonna fit their system.
Is Carlton Davis that kind of guy? Is he I don't.
We'll find out. I mean, I don't think he did anything. Every time we played him, we took advantage of their DBs. So
okay. Okay, I just wanted to see. All right, I just wanted to know.
mean,
If there
think
was
about
something
what
that I
Brock
didn't know
Purdy
about him.
did when Tom Brady was there. He torched that secondary. I
Carved
think
him
their
up.
secondary balls off of like Antoine. Is it no Winfield Jr.?
You
Who's the
talking
one
about,
that's
say,
there?
Winfield?
Yeah, Junior. Yeah,
Mhm.
it revolves around him. But I feel like all their DBs are gone. I think Sean Murphy Bunton is out of there. Like they did a revamp in Tampa. I can't wait to play them too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
What a great freaking like. I don't know. I just like doing stuff like this. I like going through the teams. It's only going to get better because as the that 90-man roster stuff starts to dwindle down. Remember, they only got one cut now. It's just everybody on the team till they make the 53, which is after that last preseason game, right?
And one thing we just did though, it was cool going over all these. It's gonna be some good free agents out there.
It's gonna be some
After the
great
cuts.
free agents. And this is why the Niners are gonna keep a stash in the stash. You know how you hide money under your mattress? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't trust the banks. I don't trust the
I
banks.
don't trust that, bro. I don't trust the banks, yo. I don't trust the
That's
banks.
crazy.
Do you
Wake
trust
up
Aaron
one morning,
Banks?
all your shit going. Oh, I do.
I do too. Mike, I'm a believer now. I'm a believer. All pro season for Aaron Banks.
Let's go. That's what I like to hear.
Bearing
man.
health. That's the only thing I think that knocks his game is his health. Other than that, get ready for him to be a mauler. Mike, great show, man. Take us home, baby.
We live all the time, kicking it with the fam, bro. That's Breezy. I'm Mike, and this is the B.A.M Show.
Happy Memorial
holidays.
Day weekend, everybody.